everybody. Welcome back for another episode of The Man Shrags. I'm JJ.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're us, and we're here, and we're going to do this thing. As you can tell from the pitch and tenor of my voice, it's early in the morning when we're recording. You might, if you listen carefully, you can hear the crickets outside. It's literally...
And our screaming 18-month-old as well, who apparently decided to wake up and jump on the bed. So he's in his crib. He's contained, but...
Oh, he's doing fine.
Yeah.
All right, so are you ready to approach the news desk?
Yeah, I am.
The
you want me
world's
to go
full
first?
of weirdo stories. We're
is.
here to tell you about them all.
All right, so my first story, I'm going to go with my longer one first. It's an NPR article.
Nice.
So it says, people are freaking out over a question mark seen in space. Scientists can explain. So apparently the James Webb Telescope took a picture. This article is from last week. And it says that people were stunned by the new image of forming stars. There's a beautiful picture of lots of stars forming. But some people who were able to focus in on really small details found an intriguing detail in the bottom of the frame, an orange formation in the shape, very clear shape of a question mark. So this is zoomed in like a lot. This is zoomed into the bottom corner.
Oh, that's pretty.
There's a question mark, right,
wow,
in the picture. And so, so the photo is actually a composite of a half dozen infrared images. It went viral online.
It's the Riddler.
On sites like X, formerly known as Twitter, and Reddit. But it was so viral that it prompted the ESA to clarify it's not a hoax. It's not like a random thing that was put there. It says people were speculating whether aliens know that we found them or not.
Wow.
And it says apparently...
We're going to respond by putting a question mark in the sky.
So this is the actual picture. So the actual picture, and then that little
gorgeous
square that they have there is where the people spotted that question mark.
Wow.
So it's just a gorgeous picture of stars forming, just beautiful pictures of the galaxies. But people are like,
cool.
What is that? So scientists are saying there's actually a lot of interesting things that show up in the picture. But... they're talking about, she says, she has one theory why there's a scientist named her name is Macarena Garcia Marin.
Nice.
And she works with the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore, which manages the telescope science operations. She says the question mark is a great example of how no matter what you're looking at, you can have surprises. But she has a theory for why it's resonating with people so much. We enjoy finding familiar shapes in the sky, and it creates a connection between our human experience and language, in this case, a question mark. It exemplifies the human need for exploration and wonder, but it's still prompting people to say, what is it? Scientists' best explanation is that it appears to be two or more galaxies merging.
Whoa.
An intense process through which galaxies collide. The Milky Way itself is a byproduct of such a merger.
I didn't know that galaxies actually collided.
Apparently what it is this man, Kai Noski, who's a communications program officer, says it's the alignment of two or three galaxies. Because it says the upper part that looks like a distorted spiral galaxy, which makes the curve of the question mark, is probably two, and it's merging with a third galaxy, which is the dot at the bottom.
Wow. When you zoom out that much, you know, you're...
How would you know? I mean, it's so far away. Just it's so interesting. So anyway, it's just that it just says the dot on the bottom might be a smaller spherical galaxy. This is totally a normal phase in the life and evolution of galaxies.
You know that thing where you take like a flashlight or something and you like write words in the sky and you use like a slow frame and you take a picture and it looks like you actually see a word of like light in the sky? That's my guess. Someone bumped the camera.
Yeah, you think? I just
made a little smudge.
It says it's all about projection. The reason we see galaxies in a question mark shape is a result of both the angle at which they have encountered each other and our own point of view.
That's crazy.
It's just so weird. Like
they took this beautiful picture of the sky.
Yeah, and everyone's like, look,
away.
There's a question mark in the bottom of it.
And look, there's a question mark.
Maybe aliens are. No.
Space is such an interesting thing. It's so huge. It's so thing. And we've never found anything. But we cannot stop being like captured by it. Our imaginations are just like, wow, look at that. Mm-hmm. A question mark.
Yeah, it's just so baffling because like I saw the picture at first and I was like, where's their question mark? Like I saw the original picture and I was like, this is a beautiful picture. Yeah, it's amazing. But I didn't see it. And I'm not sitting there studying it. But like apparently other people zeroed in on it and were like, wait a minute, what is that? And I would probably just kind of brush it off and be like, oh, it's a weird.
Yeah, it's a little mark.
Light formation. Like I'm not going to start speculating. What does it mean?
Well, and okay, so here's where it's kind of a clash. On the one hand, these scientists are the best in their field, so they are the ones who would know.
Yeah.
But they're just like making stuff up, right? They look at a smudge on a screen and they're like, that's probably galaxies.
Well, they're making their best educated
right?
guess. Like, yeah.
And so it's like they're probably right, or at least they're more right than any guess I could make.
Yeah,
but
aliens.
It's like,
okay.
Man, I wish we could. I just feel like galaxies colliding would be really cool to watch.
It would be cool to watch.
I'd love some close-ups.
Yeah,
I want
for
more
sure.
than a smudge.
For sure.
That's so interesting.
Isn't that just crazy?
All right, my story is much more pathetic. Okay. So this is from the ProvoTribune.com. Through pouring water into the Great Salt Lake, one group hopes to submerge all of Utah.
What?
There is an environmental group that is upset by the fact that the Great Salt Lake in Utah is shrinking.
Shrinking, yeah.
It's been shrinking. Apparently, it shrinks seasonally.
Yeah.
Like it gets really low, and then it refills with like melted snow water.
Sure.
And so what they're doing is they're sourcing water from outside the state, like gallons of water, and then they bring it in.
Couldn't that be dangerous for the ecosystem of the lake itself?
Probably, but not in this case because what they're doing is so insignificant. Much has been said about the issues facing Utah's Great Salt Lake. The Great Salt Lake hit the lowest recorded water level ever in November of last year. Arsenic in the exposed lake bed threatens to poison the air. Scientists at Brigham Young University estimate that without policy changes, the lake will dry up in 2028. So people are kind of freaking out. They think that this is going to do a whole thing. So there is a group, even after, so this year it recovered 5 feet of new water from this year's massive snow runoff, which I think I read somewhere was like 250 billion gallons of water.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of water that would have to fill it back up.
Right.
Yeah.
That ran off into the lake. So this lake has been getting smaller for a really long time.
Yeah.
It used to be a lake that took up half of Utah 30,000 years ago. So this is very so there's a group called Archive. So it's ARCH Hive.
Okay.
A Utah-based art collective featuring artists, musicians, writers, and thinkers exploring unique perspectives and peculiarities of Utah, Mormonism, and the American West.
Mormonism.
So it's a Mormon group of artists who get together to do this thing, and it's this group on August 12th they held a refill Lake Bonneville protest. So not Lake Utah, the Salt Lake. They want Lake Bonneville, which is the prehistoric lake that covered half of Utah. They're like, we're not just going to refill it to normal levels. We're going to refill it to prehistoric levels. And they brought like just over 100 gallons of water.
What do they do? Like fill water bottles up or something?
Did they seriously? Bottles, and they're just dumping water bottles. Which,
okay. Talk about like barely a drop in the bucket there.
Oh my gosh. On the morning of the event, nearly 24 attendees read poems, shouted protest chants, waved signs, carried a, quote, definitely real and definitely not cardboard Mitt Romney to the shoreline before dumping no more than 100 gallons of water into the Great Salt Lake.
So 24 people.
Yeah.
So some people from a Mormon congregation decided,
like 20 people decided
that they were going to go out and fill
lake.
Some water bottles and dump it in the lake. Okay.
Well, it's shocking to me that anybody noticed they did this. Like, this is such a nothing burger. I feel bad. Like, they had hot dogs for lunch because Mitt Romney's favorite meal is hot dogs. They had a cardboard Mitt Romney that they put a sweater on and carried around with them for pictures and stuff. Yeah, your face is telling me everything.
I just have so many questions.
It's considering the fact that 2.5 billion gallons of water per day are flowing past the Willard Canal into the Great Salt Lake last May. No more than 100 gallons is statistically insignificant and will definitely not solve the environmental crisis.
Oh, but, maybe they felt like they did something important for the environment there.
Yep, and they're doing this event annually. They're like, we're looking forward to it next year.
The amount of water that you poured in will evaporate off far faster than you have the ability to fill it back in.
By the time you got back to your car,
That's so crazy. And okay.
Yeah. So there were a couple of TikTok videos that did the thing. And so first, this group is just being silly, right? They're not actually making a difference. Maybe they think they are. Maybe they think they're making a difference or whatever, but it's just so they make themselves a clown show. They make themselves something that people are going to laugh at and no one's going to take you seriously. And I actually think it sounds like the Great Salt Lake is actually in quite a bit of trouble.
And I'm not denying that could be a real thing. But see, here's the thing, as far as we know, when they give a statistic like it's the lowest it's ever been or it's the smallest, or when we're making claims about geographic things, what they really just mean is as far back as we have recorded evidence or written information about it. That could be who knows how far back. So maybe I'm not denying the fact that climate change is happening. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not in total denial, but I do think there's an ebb and flow with everything. The world's been around for a long time. Maybe there was a point in history where things got really low. You never know. It could be that this is just a part of the natural process of this area. I'm not denying it, whatever, but I do think that what they're doing is probably not going to make much of a difference in the long run. They could have probably found a better solution. Is there some sort of nonprofit they could partner with?
So here's what I wanted to do, because I care a lot about environmental issues. I just think groups like this make the rest
often make a lot of loud noise, but don't do much of anything.
Right. So I went and found a real article with real solutions for water scarcity problems.
Okay.
Now, the real issue with water scarcity is not, oh no, this lake is getting smaller. That's not a real problem. The real problem is people's access to water, because there's going to always be water on the earth, right? It's all around. It's just sometimes not in convenient spots.
Right.
And so what the actual issues of water scarcity is more about, is this water toxic, or is this water safe to drink? Do people have access to safe drinking water?
Sure.
And so this is from quenchwater.com. These are real solutions on how to do water stuff. So the first one is develop water filtration systems. Having access to water, that's the most important thing. Don't pour gallons of water into a lake. Go find a way to purify water and make sure people have access to it.
That makes
Another
sense.
one is promoting water stewardship. It takes every community in the world to reduce the threat of water scarcity. Now more than ever, the world needs water stewardship in all forms. Whether you take shorter showers, install low-flow toilets, collect rainwater for garden use. We love that.
Yeah.
Reuse gray water, eradicate leaks and other water inefficiencies at schools and offices, or invest in sustainable energy.
Sure.
All these are great. And I'm just going to burn through these, but
sure.
Protecting wetlands, improving irrigation efficiency, increasing water storage in reservoirs. These are just things you can do that actually make a difference.
Yeah.
Not
that
like this
sense.
group who's out there. They had a fun day goofing off with a cardboard cutout.
They had a free lunch. They made, some newspapers with weird pictures, and they took their water bottles to the lake. It's honestly kind of feels like an Office episode, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, right? It's just goofy. It's just kind of funny. And it, I don't know. It made me roll my eyes at these guys, and I was like, oh, no, you're not actually, making a difference here. You're just having fun.
Yeah, that's so weird. But...
So yeah, that was ridiculous. People poured water bottles into a lake and said, we made a difference.
The visual is just, it's stunning.
The pictures aren't better.
I was going to say, I can't imagine a sweater-dressed Mitt Romney cardboard cutout eating hot dogs.
I'll show you the video.
Oh,
it's
boy.
good.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel like we're just descending in
the quality
of content here as far as stories go. So my second story is... Sunflower field owners ask visitors to stop taking nude photos.
Ew.
So apparently last week in England, the owners of a sunflower field are pleading with visitors to stop stripping down to take nude photos in public view.
Please stop getting naked in my flowers.
There's a brother and sister who own Stoke Fruit Farm, England, and they had to now put up signs to ask guests to refrain from public nudity after 6 incidents of naked photo shots occurred since the sunflower field opened to the public last month.
That is so funny. And
3 incidents in a single day. It said, we are having, this is a family area, and we have it open to the public for taking photos. Reminder to keep your clothes on. There have been an increase in reports of naked photography at our farm, and this must not happen during our public sessions. Said they don't want to ruin anyone's fun, but the nudity has become a problem.
I imagine if you've got like kids coming out there for taking pictures.
It says the pair said visiting families have complained about their children witnessing incidents of nudity.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It says the site is huge and there are many places you can go to hide away without anyone finding you. But these incidents of nudity are a problem and are becoming blatantly public. Why would you do this is like a huge trend in the last several years. People are really into taking photos in sunflower fields, so much so that like now places that have sunflower fields like apple farms or any kind of like agricultural place, there's a bunch of farms around here that have fruit farms and stuff, and they have now planted sunflower fields with the sole intent of charging people like $5 to go and take your picture in the sunflower fields. Like, I mean, it's like you can go to Spicer's and it's like $10 to go get a picture in the sunflowers. Like you pay $10 just to go out to their field and take selfies.
Crazy.
I know, it's crazy, but they're making money off it because it's very popular.
Yeah.
Apparently this place in England is like, come on out. You can come out and take pictures.
That's cool.
But people are taking advantage of it. And apparently what's with the nude photography in the sunflowers? Like, it's just...
I don't understand that in particular because I don't really understand much nude photography at all. Like, why can't you just keep your clothes on for
Yeah, it's a nice family farm. Like, it's
yeah.
someone else's property. It's not even, it's like your property.
Well, and it's like, it's flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, I guess you could come at it from like a naturalist's kind of angle. Like, I'm one with nature.
I don't see the logic in it anywhere.
Weird,
I think just keep your clothes on and recognize that there's families present.
Wear like a sundress or something, like that's what matches.
Just take pictures like a normal person. Like, just please don't be weird. Like, this is just so far past what is acceptable in public. I mean, seriously, if you could get arrested. Like, if the police come and just be smart.
I'm a grumpy old man horse, but it's like this used to be a proper country or whatever. It's like, come on, do we have?
It is England, so
we just have like no standards of decency anymore. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, guys. I don't know what's happening, but I saw that and I was like, wait, what? Like, but it was the fact that it was 3 incidents in a single day at one point, but 6 in a month. The sunflower field's been open. August is sunflower month, right? Sure. So from 1st of August to end of August, it's when the sunflowers are blooming. It's when sunflower fields are in their peak. Like, it's beautiful. It's in August alone, they've had 6 incidents of public nudity because people want to go and take pictures at their sunflower farm. I just am like, what?
I get that you want your fun picture or whatever, your risque photo, but
do it at home.
There are children. That's the part that irks me.
It is.
Come on, there are kids.
You're going to the apple farm or something, and it's like, oh, take a picture of me naked with these apples. No, this is not a reenactment of Adam and Eve. Just go home and take your pictures at home. Don't do it in a public field where there's families present. Like, that's so inappropriate.
Well, I feel like it's just like, you do not care about other people.
No, it's just so rude. So, anyways, that was my story.
All right, so continuing the decline of bad stories.
We've really just descended into the pit.
Airborne fish sparks New Jersey power outage.
What?
Electric company says. Okay, so you remember last week's insane story with the snake falling out of the sky?
Yeah, and the grandma.
So we have a very similar type story. That's the guess, at least.
Okay.
An incident involving a bird gave new meaning to the term fish fry after an electric company suspected an osprey of dropping its meal onto power lines, triggering an outage in New Jersey neighborhood. This is CNN.com reporting a fish fell from a bird's grip, landed on a transponder in Saryville, New Jersey, located just southwest of New York's Staten Island, according to the Jersey Central Power and Light Company spokesperson Chris Hoenig. Animal contact is a common cause of power outage. However, fish are not on the list of frequent offenders.
That is so bizarre.
They found a fish on the transponder, and they're like, oh, how did you get here?
Yeah.
Probably you got
Probably
dropped.
A bird dropped. Yeah, bird of prey.
Yeah, the outage impacted about 2,000 people. It lasted less than 2 hours. It was easy to fix.
Okay.
Apparently, fish falling on a transponder doesn't cause irreparable damage.
No.
Please let us know. So the police department got called, and they turned it into a sad social media post about the death of the fish. And they said, please let us not forget the victim in this senseless death. Gilligan was a hardworking family man. He was the father to thousands of children. They just like made up a whole profile for this dead fish.
Classy. Nice.
Anyone with information in the cast was asked to contact Detective John Silver, who handles our fish cases.
Wow.
The electric company offered sympathies to the Osprey for losing its lunch over Saryville. If you've ever dropped your ice cream cone at the fair, you know the feeling.
Yes, except mine didn't, send hundreds without power.
I
and
don't know what's going on with the birds.
Electrocute.
They can't hang on to their lunches.
Yeah,
you know?
seriously.
Oh my gosh. All right, you ready for Sponsor Your Life?
Yeah. All right, so Sponsor My Life this week has been this new book that I'm listening to that I finally downloaded from our library. And it's actually called Habits of the Household, Practicing the Story of God in Everyday Family Rhythms. And it's written by Justin Whitmell Early. And it's just an amazing book. Like,
so
it was
Habits of the Household.
Habits of the Household. And he really goes through each chapter as a different rhythm to your day. Like, it's an amazing book so far.
You are
really
totally like blown away by it.
Really enjoying it. Well, and I said this before. I have read a lot of books about parenting or creating a really healthy family culture, but most of the books I read are written by women. Like,
yeah, yep.
Which is not a problem because honestly, usually it's moms that are staying home with the kids and are taking care of the family. I really appreciate this book because it's written by a man who's talking about his family, and he is talking about they have 4 boys. Yeah, and so he's talking about, creating these rhythms and stuff and being intentional, but he's not the like primary caretaker, which I really appreciate, because it's like, this is something that is true for the whole household, not just mom to be sitting at home, to be the one working on raising the kids and taking care of the household, and dad just kind of comes in intermittently and kind of participates. Like, I really appreciate this book a lot. It's very good. There's a lot of good content. I'm only on like the 4th chapter, but I'm already like, every time I listen to it, I'm like, yes, okay, yes. And I like, to the point where like, I want to buy the physical copy. And I just finished the discipline section and I'm like, oh my gosh.
The amount of times you've used that phrase, oh, that's really good. I haven't thought of that. Like, I'm normally in our dynamic, you're kind of the more stoic one. You don't get super enthusiastic about stuff.
True, I don't.
I'm the excitable one. I'm the one that's like, go check this thing out. And I'm always telling you about things you don't care about. And I'm like, you have to tell it. Oh, let me tell you about this. And I just like, the fire hose of words. But this book has like sparked a fire in you, because you do. Like,
I know you'll never read it, because anytime I'm like, you should read this book, you'd never read it.
Well, but your enthusiasm has me
really
wanting to.
Good. Like,
I'm like, oh, I got to pick this thing up, because
it's really good because it's all really tangible. You read through some books and you're like, this is really good content, but like half of it you're kind of like, that was really wordy and that was really unnecessary, and you're kind of like, you kind of push that half to the side and you're like, I just got to slog through that extra stuff to get to the really good nuggets. Like, everything I'm in this book, reading in this book, is like, that's really good. That's really good. I really like nonfiction. Like, it's really the only thing that I read lately. I can't even remember how to read fiction books. Like, you're reading your fiction books right now.
I'm all about the fiction.
But all I ever read are like theology books or parenting books or home life books.
It's what interests you. It's what you want to read.
Well, I mean, and it's applicable to my life, which is why I read nonfiction, as I'm applying it to my life. But this book's really good. So if you,
what was the name again?
It's called Habits of the Household.
And the guy's name was
Justin Whitmell, or I don't know how to say his last name. It's EARLEY.
Okay, yeah.
Early or early or 4 chapters in. So hopefully the ending is not terrible, because I'm recommending
it. It just goes off the rails. And
so far it's really good, and I feel confident in recommending this book. So it's real good. Yeah, so far.
Oh, that's great. That's great. For me, this past week, so I have nothing academic or intellectually stimulated in it at all. But I have never hung a door before. Like, we have some water damage in the basement, and the door frame, not just like the trim, but the actual frame of the door was problematic. It had some like swelling at the bottom where it was all nasty. So I had to rip that off, and it was really gross to rip out because the wood is so rotted basically. So we needed to rip that out, clean it off, and then put in a waterproof solution, that composite stuff that they make. And so we had the door frame, and I bought it 2 months ago, the door frame, and it sat in the garage because I've never done this before. I didn't know how to do it. And I got to tell you, when I finally got down to it, and I was like, all right, this weekend I'm putting in the door, and I did it, and it was way easier than I expected. It was still challenging. I still messed up some stuff, and I had to redo some stuff because I'm fumbling through this process. But the door frame itself was very high quality. It was just a standard door frame kit that I bought from Home Depot, but it was awesome. I loved the way it fit together, the prefabricated whatever, and it was like, okay, this is pretty idiot proof. It's pretty straightforward and simple. You just have to cut it to the right sizes, and then you're fine. And I finished that project, and I was just filled with this huge sense of accomplishment. I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh, I did it. I did the thing that I'd been like hovering over my head for months. And I was like, I can't do it. I don't know. It
was long
how.
Overdue. Our 1-year-old kept throwing things into the sump pump.
Oh my gosh, we needed
it was
that
awful.
room blocked off.
There were so many toys in there that I had to dig out, and we just needed the door shut. But now we have a door again.
To clarify, so in our basement we have the sump pump area, and there's a door, and that door was the door I was replacing. So it's been without a door, and our youngest has been getting in there.
Yeah.
But now there's a door, and he can't get in there anymore.
It's much better.
So anyways, that was just so much fun, and I just was like super, like when you finally accomplish something, that feeling of like, yeah, I did it, and you're feeling super awesome after. That was my feeling. And so it's weird, but door frame kits are sponsoring my life today. All right, are you ready for our game?
I am.
Okay, so this is time for another round of, and I don't have a better name for it, but we're just going to call it Painful Pureflix Puns.
It's not Pureflix.
I know. So a couple weeks ago, we introduced this game. Basically, the way it works is whether it is Pureflix or the Hallmark Channel or whatever, there are lots of cookie cutter movies out there, more than I ever had any idea existed.
So if we're gonna do a Hallmark, we should do something like heinous Hallmark headlines or something.
Oh, that's so good.
I don't know, headlines.
You're
not good.
weirdly good at this, like making up stuff on the spot. Heinous Hallmark headlines. That's exactly what we're gonna call it. And so the way this works is we have titles of movies and we have descriptions of movies. Okay. So if I give you a title, you got to make up the movie.
The movie plot. Okay.
And then if I give you the plot, you got to make up the title. Oh, and you're very good at the title. We learned last time. That was a lot of fun.
I'm not so good at the synopsis.
The other thing that I learned was that Hallmark Channel is a thing all the time, and not just in the Christmas season.
It's literally why it's called the Hallmark.
That is just fascinating to me because I did not know. I thought that Hallmark Channel was like a Christmas time thing only.
Growing up, we used to watch the Hallmark Channel, but we would watch like classic movies. I didn't watch like their channel, their brand of movies. So, all right, what you got? Okay,
so this one, you're not going to guess this title. It's just a bad title. So I need you to come up with something better. Okay? When a music label executive goes to a festival on the Outer Banks to beat out the competition for an elusive new band, she discovers that the group is fronted by her childhood summer sweetheart.
Oh. That's it?
Yep.
Oh, that's bad.
She's a label executive, and she finds the band is fronted by her old crush.
Okay, so she's like a talent scout?
Kind of, yeah. Music label executive. So she's looking to sign a new band.
Let's see. A good movie title for. It's probably something like Love Song or something like that.
I like that way better. The original title was Making Waves.
Oh, come on.
Right? Love Song is way better.
It's not a surfing movie.
No, nothing to do with surfing. I thought it was. And
Sound waves, I guess, is what you're going for.
I like. See, but even that's better, right? Like just.
It's bad.
That's so weird. Okay, so I'm going to give you the title, you give me the plot, and then I'm going to tell you the ridiculous plot that makes no sense.
Okay.
All right, it's called Never Too Late to Celebrate.
Okay, it's it's an elderly couple that's close to dying, and they meet each other in a nursing home and fall in love.
Oh my gosh, a nursing home love story would be so cute.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're old people in a nursing home and they fall in love.
All right, this is gonna make you upset. Career-focused dentist Camilla is reluctant to celebrate a significant birthday. Career-focused dentist. Guess what birthday she's
30.
She's turning 30.
Oh my gosh.
But inspired by Javi, a Spanish teacher, the two plan a quinceañera-themed party to honor her Hispanic heritage. So she's turning 30, and she did not celebrate her quinceañera, her 16th birthday, back in the day.
So she's celebrating the double-digit quinceañera.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, that's painful. And what?
I'm like, whoa. Are we gonna try and sell it that 30 is old? Like, all right, I want you to make a plot for this one.
Oh dear. Okay.
This one's called Sweeter Than Chocolate. It's the actual name of a movie.
All right, so a fine chocolatier, someone who creates exquisite chocolates and truffles, maybe home baker, maybe just a generic home baker, I don't know, makes truffles, and that she is never going to fall in love, and then one day she makes an order for this handsome fellow who is asking for a batch of chocolates to commemorate his dead wife, and so she makes him this box of chocolates, and they end up falling in love together. I don't know, that was terrible.
Isn't that the plot of? Isn't there like a Johnny Depp French movie called Chocolat? Do you remember that?
I've never seen it.
No, you've never seen Chocolat?
No, you just like saying that.
I do.
word.
I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, he's like a chocolatier who moves into a French town, and he's really good. I don't even.
I'm supposed to believe that Johnny Depp is a chocolatier. I didn't even believe him as Willy Wonka. Okay,
I do not.
I kind of believed him as a pirate, but
I can't
whatever.
remember anything about that movie. It was a long time ago.
I've never even heard of it.
All right, the actual plot of
Oh dear. Oh, I'm so waiting for this.
Of Sweeter Than Chocolate is a local chocolatier, the guy,
okay.
is rumored to have a secret recipe to finding true love on February 14th, drawing a TV reporter to investigate. He has a recipe for chocolate that will help you find true love.
Does he know Barney Stinson? Has he helped him before?
That sounds like a scam.
It does.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
I'm not good at the plots. Not so much.
I like your plots. They're so much better. All right, let's do this one because I'm going to give you the plot and you got to come up with a name because it's going to be better than this. Adjunct Professor Joss, Joss, Joss travels to England to visit the farm where her late mother grew up and bonds with single father Daniel, whose family now runs it. Isn't that called The Holiday? Didn't they make that movie already?
Played by Jack Black. Yeah, like I'm supposed to believe a world where Kate Winslet and Jack Black. Yeah, anyway.
Hey, love is blind. Okay. Jack Black deserves love too.
Whew, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Professor, so why is that somehow important?
It's not. Adjunct travels to England to visit the farm where her late mother, so her mom passes away. She's like, I'm going to go back to the old country to visit the farm where my mom grew up, and there's a guy who lives there now, and I'm going to fall in love with him. Oh, and he's a single dad. I need a title for this bad boy.
Learning.
I like it. Adjunct professor. Yep.
Learning rural love. I don't. That's terrible. That's so bad. No, Sarah, that's not good. Don't. It's the single farm dad. Why is that significant?
It's not.
Oh my gosh.
It's just you have a kid in there.
I guess, yeah. Oh boy, that's bad. I can't think of a good title.
Something for history. Something like.
She's a history professor?
No. It's her history. It's her family. Like it's her legacy.
Learning from the past. No, that's not good.
Learning legacies in love. No.
That's terrible.
Hey, why not?
Because mine was worse.
Also, it's starring two people, and it took me a second to figure out which one was the boy and which one was the girl. We got Eloise Mumford and Julian Morris.
Julian is a boy's name.
Eloise is a girl's name, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I just thought Julian could also be a girl's name, right?
Julianne is a girl's name.
But Mumford.
What was the actual title of the movie?
The Presence of Love. Just nothing. Just
The
nothing.
Presence of Love.
The Presence of Love. It's not even about presents.
Not even like professing my love or something. She's a
Nope.
teacher. She's a
Nothing.
professor. She's at a university. Like
professoring my love.
Yeah, okay, we're done with that. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this game.
Jamie learns that her first love, Sawyer, is an architect of development that wants to change her beloved neighborhood and threatens her bookstore. Can Old Valentines help them see
I'm
eye
sorry.
to eye?
I've already seen You've Got Mail.
Yeah,
I don't
you
need
couldn't
to
remember
see
what
it
it was.
again. Oh my God. I almost said Sleepless in Seattle. That's why I had to stop myself. I was like,
It
nope,
is.
different Tom Hanks and Meg
You've
Ryan.
Got Mail if they dated in middle school.
Okay, so architect wants to take over the city, change plans, take over the city. No. And she owns a bookstore?
Yeah, she owns a bookstore and her beloved neighborhood is being threatened by an architect of a development. It's gotta be like...
Not building love, because
That's cute, but it sounds a little bit like you love the building.
Yeah.
Could be like architect of love or blueprints
Love
of the
architect.
heart. Ooh, love
Blueprints
architect.
of the Heart. We've done that one
I know.
before.
It just works all the time.
It does not.
It's Blueprints of the Heart 2. I just wanted to
Blueprints of the
be
Heart,
You've
one
Got
half,
Mail
don't see this
2.
movie.
Yeah, the actual story is, or the actual title is The Story of Us. Like,
What?
they just put no effort into naming
That
these
was
movies.
really lazy.
Yeah, this
They
is what I'm saying.
expected.
All right. When two weddings are ruined by both the bride and groom getting left at the altar, they still decide to take their honeymoons, not knowing they are headed to the same resort in Hawaii.
Oh,
Yikes.
okay.
That's sad. So she gets left at the altar. He gets left at the altar.
But they still go on their
They
honeymoon.
both go on their honeymoons and they meet in Hawaii on their failed honeymoons.
Lonely in Paradise.
Lonely in Paradise. Ooh, you're actually pretty close to the real title.
What is it actually?
2 tickets to
Oh my
paradise.
gosh. Okay, Ross. How you?
Okay, so I'll give you the title. I want you to make up the plot. Okay?
Okay.
The title of this movie is The Irresistible Blueberry Farm. I think one of the things we talked about before is how these movies are like, they're cutesy romance movies, right? They're cookie cutter, but they could be horror movies if you say it in a different
Irresistible
tone.
Blueberry Farm,
The
like,
Irresistible Blueberry Farm.
you're not getting out alive.
That's where the purple Teletubby comes from.
I was gonna say that girl Violet Beauregard comes ballooning out in her
Oh
blueberry
my
costume.
gosh, this lady looks like that girl. Not really.
That's
I mean, a little.
Okay, so the Irresistible Blueberry Farm. This is, I don't even want to know, but apparently there is a woman who, so I would keep saying woman. We're gonna say man. A man who owns a blueberry farm, and he is lonely and he's looking for love. And one day, a female delivery truck driver
Delivery truck driver. Are you writing a cookie cutting rom com or a porno?
Irresistible Blueberry. I don't know. We're going in some different directions here.
Oh, boy.
So one day she comes to pick up a shipment of blueberries.
Okay, so actually, the plot to The Irresistible Blueberry Farm, it actually sounds exactly like the plot of a more popular movie, right? Like the You've Got Mail one. This one, Ellen Branford, a high-powered attorney, finds love, purpose, and the promise of a simpler life when she sets off on a journey to fulfill her grandmother's dying wish to find the boy she once loved and give him her last letter.
Isn't that like that Letters to Julia
Yeah,
movie?
it's exactly what it is.
I've never seen that movie.
Nope, me
but
neither. But that's the premise, right? Is
I
I've
think
got to
so.
go give this to my grandmother, or to maybe it was her grandpa, and she was delivering letters to Juliet. But then she meets the grandson or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's the plot. They've stolen the plot from another thing.
Yeah. They didn't try very hard.
No, I mean, why would you? It's cookie cutter because people love the cookies. All right, you want to do one more?
Sure.
All right. This is the movie called The Wedding Veil.
The Wedding Veil.
And then in smaller letters, it says expectations.
Are there heavy sexual themes in this movie?
We hope not. It is rated G, so
okay,
probably
well, it's
not.
Hallmark movies, so.
Yes.
The
Get your
Wedding
mind out of
Veil
the gutter.
Expectations.
The Wedding Veil.
Oh, man.
Dun dun dun.
How is veil spelled? Like
Oh,
veil.
Veil.
I-L.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so there's a young woman who has a huge list of all the things that she wants in a man and all the expectations that she has
Nice.
for her future mate, and she just hasn't found him. He's just too specific in her list.
Nice.
So she thinks she's never going to find him, and then one day she meets him. What is her career? She's a librarian, and she meets him, and he's checking out books in the library.
Nice.
And so
she meets this guy and then realizes that her list doesn't really matter, and it's more about developing this relationship with an incredible person, and they end up getting married, and she throws out her list of expectations.
I like it.
No.
It sounded a little bit like you were trying to give character development to cookie cutter movies, which that's a foolhardy.
I know. I don't know why I bothered to make her have a career.
Avery and Peter try to keep the romance alive while renovating an old house and juggling work, but everything takes on a new perspective when Avery has a surprise for Peter. The new perspective when Avery has a surprise for Peter, I think expectations is that they are expecting.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know how you fit that into a G-rated movie.
I was going to say, that seems like something, and I mean, is it really unexpected? I mean, you know what you're doing.
Ooh, I got a good one. Okay. I'm going to give you the plot. And you can come up with the title.
Ooh.
I'm just excited about this one.
Okay.
When Bella discovers funding for her dog rescue center is being discontinued, she turns to JR, a caring soldier who not only becomes attached to one of her beloved rescues, but also to her. So it's a love story surrounding a dog rescue place.
Dog rescue place.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shelter. I'm trying to think of something that sounds military.
Oh, yeah, because he's a soldier.
He's a soldier.
Sure.
What was she runs the shelter?
Yes.
Rescuing strength. I don't know.
Oh, rescue. Yeah, I like rescue, putting rescue in it. It's A Tale of Love.
Oh, my God.
Spelled T-A-I-L.
Yes, you didn't have to explain that one. That was pretty painful in itself.
Oh, it's so good.
Whew, I think you mean bad.
Photographer Maggie learns that her ex-boyfriend, ex-singing partner, is in the wedding that she is working. She's a photographer. Tensions run high until they sing together, remembering how good they were as a duo. The pained look on your face is worth it. I wish people could
Karaoke love.
Karaoke love. I like that. That is so much better.
Doesn't say anything about karaoke.
No, but singing together, so
singing.
They got to be singing in
Anyways,
karaoke.
what's the actual title?
In the Key of Love.
Oh my gosh. Boy, they're a little tone deaf with these titles.
Oh my gosh. I love it so much. And it's so much fun to make fun of, and it's one of those things where I probably would love every single one of those movies.
Yeah, you would. I can't stand movies
I
like
love
that.
them. They're just, I eat it up. I'm not really a Hallmark movie person. I've never actually watched these.
You don't know that. You could be.
It's true. I bet I would be, though. That's what I'm saying.
Your latest binge watch.
Oh my gosh. Excuse me. I need to watch A Tale of Love. Okay. I need to see how cute these puppies are.
Ooh, okay.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. We love making this podcast. It's just fun. Take a break and from all the things that have a point and just spend some time talking about goofy, crazy, weirdo stories and play some fun games. And we'll see you next time.
We won't see you, but maybe you will hear us next time.
Do you want to send us out with the mom joke of the week?
Yes. Okay, so why can't T-Rex clap their hands?
Wait, I know this one. I don't know. I can't remember.
Because they're extinct. And sending you out with JJ's coughing fit. You can pass it every time. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.